KollinsPlays Feed the Beast Monster. Hello, Minecraft fans. It's Collins, and we're back with more Feed the Beast Monster. I see you, zombie. So we got a bunch of changes, and I've been working on, I dreamt really big. Like this big plan, a giant, power factory in the sky, and massive AE system and stuff. So this is all manual because I figured I'd just wait and build like a giant thing. Yeah, I need like an interim system. I miss my Mac. I need an AE system to do my crafting for me because I hate all these crafting stuff. But there's a bunch of stuff we did, so we're getting ready. We're getting there. So let's go over that. So I got this stupid, well actually this is not bad. This is quite clear glass from Ender.io. This is just a dumb chamber that I sit in if I gotta go AFK real quick because like spiders can't get through here and nothing else can crawl up here, so it kind of keeps me safe if I gotta go AFK and I don't have time to log out or whatever. I have a whole bunch of stuff. So this is all that magic crops, and we'll get to this stuff. You'll have to hear about that. This is all magic crops, and I got most of them disabled. Like I was getting a whole bunch of tin and copper you make early, and I got a whole bunch of them. There's diamond. So it's kind of making diamonds, and what are you making? You're making diamonds and gold and blaze rods, I think, and some other thing. But most of it shut off. And then I had this auto disenchanter, which when I built it, I was hoping it would turn like enchants off of items into basically into MFR's like liquid experience stuff, mob essence. But it doesn't. It disenchants it into a book, but it's still not too bad. So I use that to combine it with the stuff. And then before I was using this thing, so this is the Emvar Battle Wrench. It's a weapon, and you can block with it even, and it's the tool for all the thermal expansion stuff that also works with Ender.io, and it works with MFR. But the guys for thermal expansion have been working on some power tools. So this is the Flux Infused Battle Wrench, and I renamed it when I enchanted it. And then I got a Flux Infused pick. So these hold charge redstone flux, baby. And the Battle Wrench, it's not the best weapon. They have an actual sword, and the sword's pretty cool. When you block with it, like mobs basically just like repel away from you. It's pretty cool. But I wanted the Battle Wrench because it just looks cool. I'm carrying a Battle Wrench. So I made the Battle Wrench for that, and the pick. The pick has problems with all these geostratagems though. So normally I have to carry, am I carrying another one around? No, I think I broke mine. Normally I gotta carry a normal pick because I run into these geostrata rocks, all this stuff. And this thing turns from super fast speedy pick to slow to a molasses pick, and then when it breaks the blocks they disappear. So there's some sort of bug between this these flux redstone arsenal pick and the geostrata things. Oh, so geostrata is made by Rika. He's the cool guy who did this rotary craft and all that other stuff. So the geostrata that adds all these rocks is made by the same guy, Rika, and coincidentally, the Flux Infused pick does not like this rotary craft. So this filling, I'm not even going to do it. I don't want to do it. So you put a thing on the ground, like here's a DC motor, and if you use the tool, you can rotate it. There's no break me with the tool. It's meant to be used with the normal pick. But if I got my redstone arsenal pick, my TE3 pick from Team COFH. If I break this DC motor with a stone pick, it drops a DC motor. If I break it with my magical super charged flux infused pickaxe, it disappears. So yeah, until they fix that redstone arsenal bug, I gotta be careful because I've done it. I did it. I broke a DC motor. I broke one of these damn filling stations. This is my second filling station. That's my second fermenter because I broke one of those before I finally figured out, because once I built the flux infused and started noticing that the rocks disappear, and then I looked on the forums and realized that the rocks are made by the same guy who makes the rotary craft, and maybe that's why my rotary craft stuff disappears. So no redstone arsenal on your rotary craft tools, because they'll disappear. I got some vanilla stuff, so there's a stronghold in the nether. It's like an earshot. You can literally spit on it from the portal. And I went in there and I got a bunch of stuff, including horse armor. There's diamond horse armor. And I got saddles and stuff. So this is Minecraft 164. The dungeons in Minecraft 164 have all the new horse armor and all that stuff like that. They have the nether fortresses just randomly have chests in them. So when you're walking through the nether fortress, there's just chests. So where are you at? I have more diamond armor. There was a bunch of gold and iron diamond armor, or gold horse armor and iron horse armor, which you can stick in Tycho smeltery and get lots of gold and iron out of, which I did. So we got these bad boys. I just tamed a couple of them up. So there's my little donkey, and he's got inventory space. You can see he's got his little pack on him. So if I jump on him, and he's not too slow, I got inventory space. And then I got, this power horse thing, and jump on him. There's no inventory, but he's got diamond horse armor on, and he's pretty fast and a decent jump. I haven't even looked at horses and stuff really. I've been doing mod things, but it was kind of cool to do that as a sidetrack, because this is I haven't played vanilla Minecraft all by itself since the horses thing. I looked for horses in my original LP world, like by generating new chunks, but all I found was donkeys. It was kind of lame. So I haven't really played with horses. I was kind of disappointed after that, but yeah. So yeah, we're going to need some interim power and interim storage over here. And I was trying to think, like, I need processing. I need big processing. And thermal expansion, there's a slot here, but it doesn't do anything yet. So thermal expansion, the guys who make it, their solution to, like in Industrial Craft 2, you can just put overclockers and stuff and it's way faster. So thermal expansion basically said, oh, you want faster furnace cooking? Build 2 redstone furnaces. But then you have this huge power plant. So Ender IO has these capacitors, and this is the double layer, and you can use this to make this octadic capacitor, 8 layer basically. And then these machines will run really fast. So we might do some of this Ender IO and use that for fast stuff, the equivalent of IC2 overclockers. Because realistically, if you got big power, you just take you just take an induction furnace and leave it powered all the time, and then it smelts stuff super fast. But I don't really want to do a whole lot of IC2. I'm not into all the smash and plate stuff and the Greg Techish feel to it. I don't like it. So we got to do something else. Like in my last LP, I did a steam oven, which is this giant 2x2 structure, and it's huge and it cooks 9 things at a time, but it's still slow. But I think we'll get some of these Ender IO things and overclock them. And if we don't use the fast ones for like main processing, we'll at least use it for AE crafting. So if I tell AE to cook something, it's just going to throw something in an optical clocked alloy smelter, and it's going to smelt really fast. And then I still have to figure out power. So I was doing a thing where I just put a sprinkler on the ground and then was harvesting the seeds to get random seeds that I wanted. But there's a lot of seeds you get, and there's flowers and all sorts of stuff. So what I was thinking, one of the options I had was flower power. So I made another turtle, and he's got a crafty thing on him. So he's a crafty turtle, and he's got a program called flower power. And basically his job is, that chest is supposed to have flowers in it, but it's not. I broke it all down. I tested it out. He's working. I got a paste bin for him, and if I use this, I'll put the paste bin link up so people can see it. But his job is, there's an inventory on top of him and an inventory in front of him. If I do a sprinkler and just harvest all the stuff, a bunch of flowers will come in, and he'll randomly just grab a stack of whatever out of the chest above him, and then try to craft it. And if it's a flower, it'll turn into a bunch of dye, and then the dye you can feed it into MFR's bioreactor and make biofuel. So that's one way we can power stuff. That's also less noisy than the tree farm thing, because this magic crops is cool, but it's slow. There's like 9 coal crops in here right now, and it's not even enough to keep one steam dynamo fed with power. It keeps draining the damn steam dynamo. I did upgrade to resonant energy cells, but yeah. And the only reason why I have resonant energy cells, because I don't need it for this little thing, is I want to store up a bunch of power so that when I do big processing and stuff, I already have a full, a whole bunch of reserve power to kickstart things off with, and then a whole barrel full of charcoal to kick things off with. But we got to do some of this stuff and figure out an alternative, because magic crops looked cool. And it is cool, but it's not fast enough to be... Like, I would have to do the whole... I'd probably have to do sprinkler and lily pads of fertility and Thaumcraft stuff in order to get this speedy enough to keep more than one steam dynamo filled with coal. Not that exciting. So we'll probably have to figure something else out, and we'll have to figure out an equivalent to industrial craft overclocked machines. And I gotta figure out my power converters. I'm so sad. So universal charger, used to be able to stand on it and it would charge stuff. It doesn't anymore. Apparently, Power Crystals, who's the maker of the power converters mod and also the maker of MFR, has not updated the power converters mod. So in this pack, the steam consumer's turned off. It's like disabled in the config. I actually turned it back on and fired it up, and it worked. It seemed to work, but the conversion rate's all crappy. So if I turned it on in the config, I'd also have to fix the conversion rate. Otherwise, it takes in a whole ton of steam and puts out almost no power. The factorization, I don't think the factorization one is in, because it's not in here. It was broken in the last pack. Well, I haven't played with factorization much. So there's RF, so you can do redstone flux, and then there's all of the EU from Industrial Craft, and then there's MJs. But that's it. That's all that's in power converters now. There's no factorization anymore. There's no nothing. The factorization was broke in Ultimate, right? I don't even know if I looked at it in Unleashed to see if it was fixed, but it was broken in Ultimate. So I played with factorization power in Ultimate, and the power converters thing was broken. Factorization had upgraded their solar, the way they do solar power, and the new machine you needed to make solar was not in the recipe for power converters. It was the old machine, so it was broken. I'm really sad because I love power converters. I love being able to just make one power and then convert it to whatever you need to. But there's no factorization, there's no steam. I'm sad. Power crystals, please work on this stuff because it rocks, and MFR rocks too. And then the other thing I did was I did a Java thing. So this is the barrel stuff. And I don't know why you say diamond dolly full with empty in parentheses, but you take your Java dolly that we made out of iron, so a bunch of iron and a thing, and then you add diamonds to it, and you get a diamond dolly, which this one has durability, the other one doesn't, but you can still move all your regular barrels and stuff around with it, I think a ton of times, and it doesn't use the durability. I sure hope not, because I've been doing a ton of this. It doesn't appear to be using durability, but you can use it to move spawners. So let's take a look at that. So I went over there to where the world spawn was and took that zombie grinder with the diamond dolly and came down here and set up the MFR setup, which is a lot like the one I did in my other LP with Unleashed. Yeah. So it's an MFR grinder, which kills mobs, and then there's a bunch of blocks here, and this is using Ender IO. So this says stone brick slab when I mouse over it. That says stone brick when I mouse over it. This says conduit facade from Ender IO, which if you have a tool in your hand, you can see through. So I moved the zombie spawner down here, and it's basically producing zombies that the grinders kill, and that makes this stuff the mob essence. And then down here is an auto spawner, which uses the mob essence to make the mobs of your choice. So the way you get an auto spawner to work is you need safari nets. And if we look up a safari net, I love that they fixed NEI. It works so much faster now. So you need a ghast here and a bunch of ender pearls. So the first thing I did when I got safari nets was, I gotta push this thing. I made a ghast one. So I captured a ghast in the nether and stuck him in a safari net, and then I captured an enderman, and then I can use these to make more safari nets because I can farm ghast tears and I can farm ender pearls. And then we got Ender IO and all of its glory down here. So all these pipes, power and liquid and items, are all in one block, and you cover them up with facades. And I have to fix this. I moved this cage around and changed it around. I think it's too small to get a gas to spawn in it now. Or actually, I think this thing sits too low to the ground. I think I need to move that auto spawner up a level. But right now, when I'm close, zombies spawn, and then the tank fills up with mob essence that I can use to spawn other stuff. And then I got these contraptions all wired in for, let's say I want some blazes. So there's this item pipe in Ender IO has different channels. So the channel on this chest, whatever is in this chest, will magically disappear and go into that auto spawner. And I gotta not use the wrench because there's a bug. When you look through the Ender IO conduit, mobs can see you. But you can hear blazes down there. So I put the blaze one in there, and now blazes spawn. And then this is a big button from Open Blocks, which if you shift right click, it has items you can put in there, and the more items you put in, the longer the button gets held down. So the big button will send a redstone signal that says, without you crawling into that crazy contraption, bring the dang safari net back up from the auto spawner. So I don't have to crawl in there to switch the safari net around. I can use that stuff. Here, if you push the button, you can see this thing lights up red. Yeah. So, and this can be bigger. The last time I built this, one of these, which is probably what I'll do, and this is just temporary to get resources, is you get these grinders do a 5x5, and so usually you do 4 grinders, and you do a 20x20. So 10x10, yeah. So 510 by 510, and you have 4 grinders in there, and that's the way to do it. But right now what it's doing is I just got more of these hobby steam engines because they're efficient, and they're using time to fill up another resonant energy cell, so I have more reserve power, and these are loud, so that's why it's kind of down here in the basement. And this is the new reservoir from Ender IO, which is cool. Takes a lot to build this, but once you build this reservoir, see how it's got a little arrow on it? I can hit it with my tool and turn the arrow on and off. With the arrow on, it's in auto insert mode. So I don't have to put any pipes or anything on the hobbyist steam engine. I just stick it, attach it directly to this reservoir, and the reservoir will automatically put water in there. It's kind of cool. But you can see I got pipes snaking everywhere and different channels and all sorts of things, and there's great stuff to do with Ender IO. We'll get into that later. This is temporary mob cage so I can get resources, more turtle mining. I can't even do a quarry because I don't have a big enough, I don't have a sorting system to process all this stuff as it comes in from the quarry. And over here I had that stupid door, just a wooden door. I don't know what I was thinking. Wooden door, obsidian pressure plate. Only players can trigger obsidian pressure plates, but it's a freaking wooden door. So at some point a zombie broke my wooden door. And this is where my nether portal was, but I set up linking book, so I tore this out, and that never grows mushrooms. I don't understand. And then I came down here. There's another. Here's a death point. See that little turtle down there? I used this guy in my first LP. So he's Mob Farm Attack program, and I have a paste bin for this. But he basically turned this thing on. Zombies spawn. They come down here. Turtle kills them. It's pretty simple stuff, except for we got to open blocks vacuum hopper. So the vacuum hopper puts all the items in this chest, and it puts all of the XP up here. You can see that tank just gets fuller. And then this is a XP shower. So when I pull this lever, XP balls rain down on me. So if I need experience, I just do that. But in the process of making this thing work, I put the turtle in there, fired him up so he was live, and then fell down in front of him. And when he's live, he'll attack me too, so he killed me. The one spawner's over by world spawn. The other spawner I had to get from here. Which, if you remember right, at the beginning, one of the first few episodes, we had that. It's a dungeon that's basically cut in half. The bottom half is in one spot and the top half's in another spot. And it's right over here, which, as you can tell, is in a slime chunk. So here's the bottom half, and I found this, and there was no spawner. And then I dug a hole up here because I heard zombies, and realized that the spawner was up here in the top half of the dungeon. I came from this way with my jetpack, because I can fly over this poison lake and over this lava pool. So I flew over the lava pool and the poison lake and got here, and there's water coming through the ceiling. So let me fix that. So I crawl up in here. Look at all these death points. Look at them all. There's 2 here, there's another one over there. So I crawled in here, there was a water stream up here. This is more of that stuff I should have got on video. I didn't think it'd be that exciting. There was water flowing down here. So this hole is too deep. So when I came through this, I popped my head up in here, and this room is totally dark, and there's like 4 creepers in here. And they blew me to smithereens. Luckily, I got this backpack thing, which is great because it lands as an item on the ground, and you get some of your stuff back. But I lost my first flux-infused battle wrench, so this is flux-infused battle wrench number 2. The only thing I got was I lost a jetpack. The only thing I kept was this stupid bronze helmet. So I lost a bunch of stuff in this. Doing that crazy death point stuff. And then once I got this room lit up and got my stuff in here, there was more bad noise up here. So I come up here and there's a slime and a water thing. And there's this giant slime, and behind him I can see these mobs. And I didn't even think about it. Kill the slime, all the mobs come falling behind, including like creeper blow me up. So I died twice in here, and then the third time I came in here I didn't have a jetpack because I got 2 jetpacks. So I died once, used the backup jetpack, died again. Both jetpacks were sitting here. I came in through again, and I had to mine with a pick through here in order to get into the room. Crazy stuff. But anyway, so now we got a spawner that we can do a little XP shower with. We get some slime balls. You can hear badness in that damn cave. And we got our flux-infused battle wrench and a flux-infused pick, which is pretty damn cool. They're not too bad. I wish they worked with the Geostrata stuff. But maybe they will. So yeah, that's my mess. And I've been basically trying to put together enough stuff to build like a power plant and to build like a sorting system, because I have no automatic sorting at all. I have nothing automatic. The closest thing to automatic I have is a hopper right now. But I need more resources to build like the one I want, so I think I have to build an interim one. Oh yeah, so one of the things I wanted to do was, barrels are great, but I want a deep storage unit. I want a deep storage unit for cobblestone so I don't have to worry about it. Here's a deep storage unit. You now have to have a tesseract frame, which has to be full, and this is 4 ender pearls. But it takes 4 ender pearls to make the damn thing. No, it doesn't. Yeah, 4 ender pearls to make the enderium dust, which you gotta cook. Enderium blend. You need enderium blend. Can we find that? Yeah, so that's a bucket. That's 4 more ender pearls, and then this is tin and shiny metal, which is not a big deal. and then you use that with pyrotheum, which is sulfur and crud. And then you got to make these strong boxes. So you have to have a reinforced, which you make out of a hardened, which you make out of a normal strong box. So that's what it takes to make deep storage. But now I got deep storage, so we're going to use some of those. And then here's logistics pipes. So this is a basic logistics pipe, and this is used to make all the other pipes. I looked at this recipe. One of these combines makes 8. You can make it with a gold gear, or you can make it with a gold chipset, and the gold gear takes 4 pieces of gold, the chipset takes 1, but then you gotta build a laser array from Buildcraft. So I have 1 laser, 1 assembly table, 1 laser, and this little tiny system that I keep having to manually feed more coal into because it doesn't have enough coal. So we can make deep storage units, we can make logistics pipes if we wait forever for the 1 laser. I got a Railcraft rolling machine to make some Railcraft steel. The plates, because you still need to make the plates with the rolling machine. But I can actually use the HSLA steel to make Railcraft steel plates. So we're working on that, but I have to set up an interim sorting system and ore processing and storage of some kind here in order to get enough resources to be able to build the monster system I want. I didn't even think about that, but this is all manual everything right now. I manually put stuff in a hopper, I manually pull it out and bring it over and manually put it in the dang furnaces and manually pull the bars out, manually turn them into blocks when I get too many. So it's all manual. We're going to have to do something about this. And I think I might show some of it just so you guys have an idea too. Because maybe what I'm doing is a good idea, maybe it's a bad idea. Maybe I'll get some comments for better ideas. But maybe if you do a legit starting out in a modded Minecraft with Monster or one of the other packs or something, maybe you'll have an idea for like what a good order is to start things out in and what a good order is to not start things out in. But I might do another one of those jungle tree farms just to get enough power and do maybe like a little Railcraft boiler and a little tiny AE system, and then I can from there expand on to the big stuff. So the start of that's being able to build deep storage units and maybe some logistics pipes and having these resonant energy cells that I can fill up with power, and then I still have power that I can, feed machines while I'm redesigning everything. So we got to figure that out. I still don't know what kind of power. And then there's this thing. So you saw earlier I tore the portal out downstairs. I did not break the portal on the nether side. So apparently something came through the portal in the nether, and the nether portal was like, I need a spot in the overworld, and it was totally like, I built that portal and it's on good coordinates, but the one that spawned in the nether, I didn't bother moving it or it didn't do anything with it. It was game generated. So I built the portal way over here, and the game created another portal wherever it created in the nether, and if you break the source portal and come out of that one, it'll generate one way over there. Which is kind of like my ultimate, where I had my nether portal at my base. When I went into it, it went to the nether. When I came out of it, it came out on the side of a volcano. That's just vanilla nether portal mechanics, which is why we either got to move them manually, like I mentioned in my tutorial, or we'll just do linking books. Just the IC2 crops. The crossbreeding's a pain in the bud. And I went back and looked at my very first modded Minecraft videos, and I planted, because I had no idea how any of this stuff worked, and I didn't really look it up, but I figured out how to make these crop sticks and stuck them on the ground and planted wheat on them. I thought it was wheat, and it all turned to weeds, and I didn't know. So I was running around for like 3 episodes going, there's my wheat, it never grows. There's my wheat, it never grows, not knowing it wasn't wheat, it was weeds. So here's the only real advantage to industrial craft crops. I can take a pumpkin, which normally grows the stalk and then grows the plant, and I can go IC2 crop, pumpkin seed, pumpkins will grow there, the harvester will harvest it. I can crossbreed and make this a super pumpkin plant, but that's a pain in the butt and not really worth it. So the only thing I'm going to use them for is that. Self-harvesting pumpkins that only take up 1 block instead of 2. That's the only advantage of Industrial Craft 2 crops. And that's the only thing we're going to do with them. And magic crops is almost as bad. So we'll probably do magic crops just to keep like a little bit of extra items, resources in our base, but it's really slow. It made an iron ore, but I think it has taken forever to make 1 iron ore. And I manually process it because I don't have automation yet. But we'll get some automation going and we'll get some sort of mini power, enough permanent power that I don't have to manually feed a machine, and we can set up a AE system, and maybe I'll bring that online and let you guys see it. So anyway, more Mod of Minecraft. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody who likes and subscribes, and we'll catch you later.